before I begin, if you're someone who don't like your music videos and your songs with CGI, much like what the Gorillas do with their virtual band and whatnot, then you're probably not going to enjoy this video. However, if you're someone who's going to proceed with an open mind, or at the very least someone who don't really mind someone using visual effects, then proceed further. Of course, I'm not talking about Gorillas. I am talking about Ironmouse in this video. And I do think this screenshot better represents what she does. She does singing, she does react videos, and she does gaming videos. She does play video games as well online. She's indeed a streamer, which means that she will do live broadcasts of herself. One thing that is to note is her unique voice. And to better understand that why she has such a unique voice is to talk about her past, at least what she has publicly shared. Okay? See, she didn't know until a bit later in her life that she had what's called common variable immunodeficiency. Before this diagnosis, she actually did train to be an opera singer. Unfortunately, due to an infection that actually stopped her, she even ended up being bedridden, unfortunately. And with this diagnosis, that basically means that her immune system doesn't work, so she could actually be halted from various infections, including the common cold. And thanks to a lung infection, it forever changed her voice. And yeah, despite that, though, she has worked hard at becoming a lot healthier and able to actually, in a sense, she can walk around now. Don't need a wheelchair, but she still has a wheelchair just in case. Mind you, this is all information that's been publicly shared, stuff that she said in her streams that sometimes gets clipped and whatnot. She's also said this in interviews as well. So this isn't some personal thing. I don't know her personally, just going by the information that is publicly available. But yeah, and the funny thing is that many people who knew her for a long time, I don't know of her for that long, but long enough that I didn't even know that she did train to sing until her voice started getting better. She started doing some covers, and eventually she got to work with some people to do some original music. Of course, with her doing recordings in her bedroom. At the same time, she does also have to do some things, such as how with some recordings she does have a setup, as she describes it, almost like a blanket fort in a sense, so this way the machinery in her room doesn't interfere with the recording. So there is that. But yeah, despite that, while a lot of people may think that a lot of people love her out of pity, truth be told, a lot of people admire and respect her for the resilience that she has. And is also quite an inspiration because despite all the stuff that holds her back and having this health problem that basically prevents her from physically going out to do a live stage show, not only is she using technology that allows her to get out there and perform in a sense, she also shows that it's still possible to do what you want to do, to live your dreams. Even though it is a bit of a different sense, seeing how she does so as this virtual character, still the fact that she's able to do something is something remarkable. It is something that is admirable, respectable, and has given motivation to many people. So that is one of the great things about her. Which is also why, when she does her long streams, the subathons, many of them called, a lot of people tune in. And she's even reached top streamer spot quite often, as well as beating out a few guys. But this also led to problems because the few men that she's done better than, they have some obsessive fans, and said obsessive fans were rather rude about Ironmouse, not understanding what she goes through or anything like that, or why people respect her. And then came, I'm gonna fast forward a bit, because at the last award show, because they use this sort of screen machine stand thing so she could at least, in a sense, be present. And some of the people who were angry at her decided to, okay, approach her. And she tried to be nice about it, you know. And I'm not gonna be another person that said she shouldn't have been so nice and blah blah blah. I'm not gonna do that. You know, she's heard that enough from other people. And of course, the guys could have been a lot more polite. I mean, seriously, if Rakai is watching this, you don't go up to a random lady sticking your tongue out, okay? Most other women would have filed charges against you, dude. And Ray, you ain't no better. Now, with that out of the way, but yeah, like due to stress and how CVID affects the body during stress, she described like the shaking feeling that she got. And of course, some people decided to mock her for it, mock her for her condition and stuff like that. And that's when it got worse, because there were a lot of people who decided that they're going to attack one of her songs, which is Cry For Me. Now, I do find it, Cry For Me, to be an interesting song. I mean, there is an irony there to it, because it is a song that does basically mock her haters, because she did have haters beforehand because of people thinking of her as just another anime girl online. But yeah, Cry For Me ended up getting a lot of attention. There were a lot of people who, after being exposed to a song that they didn't even know existed, they're like, oh, hey, this song's not that bad. And so that ended up getting more popular. Me personally, I don't really care for Cry For Me much. I like her other songs better. And if you've seen my list of favorite songs from 2025, you'll see that one of her songs is definitely on my list, which would be Music Box of Fate, which I think is like one of those songs that really demonstrates her singing abilities and how she's adjusted to how her body functions currently. Fantastic song. I urge you to check it out if you haven't already. Now, of course, though, one negative thing when it comes to the whole thing with Cry For Me is that someone also decided to do parodies of Cry For Me, and said parodies include a lot of racism. So, because of that, there's been an ongoing battle not just to keep her original song up, but also to take down the parody song, because not only is it something that mocks Ironmouse, but it's also one that is just one of the most heavily racist things out there. That's practically in, okay, I don't want to use certain terms because I probably shouldn't say, legal terms, mind you, you know. I mean, she already has a legal team looking into it, so thankfully that's taken care of. But yeah, Cry For Me has gotten a lot of attention on TikTok and whatnot, from a song that a lot of her haters mocked her for, to being a song that some people have been exposed to that had them saying, this is not that bad. And hopefully that will allow other people to really go into her other songs, because like I said, me personally, I don't think Cry For Me is all that special of a song. Like I said, like her other songs I like way more. Like beat the various covers she's done with other people as well as herself. Um, or like I said, originals such as like Anarchy. Anarchy is another one. Music Box of Fate, of course. Um, Time to Feast is another one that shows off another element of her vocal capabilities. These are all songs that are like well worth it. Not to mention that there are also people out there who do covers of these songs, and proper covers, unlike that disgusting parody that keeps popping up. Um, but yeah, like this is a video that I want to, and I do honestly respect Ironmouse for a lot of what she's done. and hoping that there will be many years to come where she can continue to do what she loves to do. So yeah, biggest reason I did this video is because I don't think, like, it surprised me, like, there's a lot of people who do react videos to reaction channels to her music and whatnot. Those who are in the music business, who actually know what they're talking about, and not some randos like myself, but people who are knee deep in the business, who have actually gave compliments to her abilities, her singing abilities. Not just those who are active, but also those who are retired, such as Marco Meatball, who a retired opera singer, for those who don't know. Marco, who had also done a couple covers with Ironmouse to the soundtrack of Warframe. But yeah, it also surprised me that there's a lot of people who talk about music. Like, one would figure this would be something up their alley, if not for how she overcomes sickness in order to become a great vocalist, but also like the negative stuff that's going on with this impersonator, you know. And one would figure that at least this would be something that Anthony Fantano would cover. But yeah, that's the video that I wanted to do. Just want to say some things about Ironmouse and her music. As for like streaming and whatnot, why people just love to listen to her talk, it's because she has a great personality as well. So yeah, and like I said, if you want a good idea of her full vocal capabilities, both Music Box of Fate and Time to Feast really are, I would say, two of the best songs that actually show what her vocal capabilities are and what one can do despite having unfortunate circumstances. So with all that said, I am Neko AV, aka Austin, and I thank you for watching.